Hi, this is CA Apurva Jaisamha and you're with me on G for GST, a YouTube channel exclusively dedicated to updates on GST. We have content ranging from bare basics to intricate nuances of the Act. We also have frequent videos coming up about whatever is latest in GST. So to stay updated, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon. In this video today, I'm going to take you through the saga of interest provisions in GST. To those who have been following GST since its inception in July 2017 would definitely acknowledge that this interest development has been nothing short of a roller coaster ride. What does the section say? What do people want? What does the council approve of? What does the Revenue Department want? What does the Finance Act propose? And amidst all these, there are contradictory High Court judgments doling out judicial opinions on what everybody should be wanting. So, let's get started from the scratch. First, let us start with understanding the statutory background of Section 50 of the CGST Act. Section 50 talks about who should pay interest, when you should pay interest, and at what rate. Every person who is liable to pay tax in accordance with the provisions of this Act or the rules made thereunder, but fails to pay the tax or any part thereof to the government within the period prescribed, shall, for the period for which the tax or any part thereof remains unpaid, pay on his own interest at such rate not exceeding 18% as may be notified by the government on the recommendations of the council. So as you saw, if there is any delay in payment of taxes to the government wants interest. That's what Section 50 says. But the moot question here is whether this interest has to be computed on the gross liability or on the net liability. For the uninitiated, let me give an illustration. If my total GST liability is 1 lakh rupees and I have an accumulated input tax credit of 70,000, then my net cash outflow towards taxes would be only 1 lakh minus 70, which is 30,000 rupees. So essentially it means that even though my liability at a gross level is as high as 1 lakh, because of the available input tax credit, I will end up paying only 30,000 rupees in cash through the electronic cash ledger. So what Section 50 did not address here is that whether this interest at 18% per annum for delayed payment of taxes has to be paid on the entire sum of gross liability of 1 lakh rupees, or should it be paid only on the net cash outflow of 30,000 rupees. Now once there is a judicial ambiguity, the government wants what it wants and the people want what it wants. I will tell you why this discussion even started. Back in the day, during Central Excise and Service Tax, that is during pre-GST regime, the laws were very clear where it said that the interest has to be paid for delayed payment of duties only on the net tax liability. But once the nation transitioned into GST, the Section 50 provisions were quite unambiguous. And thus started the fight between the Revenue Department and the assessees. Now, while the Revenue Department and the assessees were at loggerheads, the Telangana High Court, in the case of Mega Engineering Infrastructure Limited, in response to a writ petition filed by them, said nothing doing. Interest has to be paid on the total liability, even though almost full liability is paid through input tax credit. This judgment given by the Telangana High Court triggered the Revenue Department officials, and notices were issued left, right, center, compelling the assessees to pay interest on the total liability of GST, even though almost full liability is paid through utilization of input tax credit. Acknowledging this turbulence, the Finance Ministry in Finance Act number 2 of 2019 proposed to bring about an amendment in Section 50. Yes, Finance Act number 2 of 2019, because in 2019 we had two budget sessions. One was before elections and the other was after elections. The one that I am referring to is the Finance Act 2 of 2019, which was after elections in July 2019. So this Finance Act 2019 proposed to bring about an amendment in Section 50 by adding a proviso to Section 50, which reads like this. Provided that the interest on tax payable in respect of supplies made during a tax period and declared in the return for the said tax period, furnished after the due date in accordance with the provisions of Section 39, except where such return is furnished after commencement of any proceedings under Section 73 or Section 74 in respect of the said period, shall be levied on that portion of the tax that is paid by debiting the electronic cash ledger. So essentially, government was with trade and industry. Government wanted to provide relief to trade and industry, and this proposed amendment of Section 50 necessitated that interest has to be paid only on the net tax liability that is paid through the electronic cash ledger. Typically, that means the liability for which you generate a challan, debit the money from your bank account and pay into the electronic cash ledger, and not on the gross total liability. So much so amount of your GST liability that has been paid through utilization of the available input tax credit will not be a subject matter of interest in cases where there is any delay in payment of taxes. But the twist in the story came when this proposed amendment of Section 50 was never notified. So yeah, we are like, the intent to amend is there, the amendment is also there, but it is not notified. So whom does this all even help? Then came the Madras High Court judgment in the case of Reflex Industries, which said nothing doing. Interest has to be paid only on the net tax liability. The assessee cannot be burdened to pay GS interest on the gross tax liability. The judgment held that this interest is merely compensatory in nature. So the exchequer has to be compensated only to the extent of actual deprivation cost, which is your cash outflow on the net tax liability. So all in all, there were contradictory judgments. Section 50 was not notified. The Revenue Department and the assessees continued to fight. And amidst all this, COVID happened to the world. The 39th GST Council meeting held in March 2020 brought out the immense requirement to amend Section 50 retrospectively. It pressurized the government to undertake this amendment so that the assessees who are already riddled with the bad economy and lockdown and everything will not be compelled to pay interest on the gross tax liability. Yet, for 6 whole months, there was no action on this front. Finally, after 12 months of the proposed amendment in the Finance Act number 2 of 2019 and after 6 months of the 39th GST Council meeting, on 25th August 2020, the Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs has issued Notification 63 of 2020 Central Tax, which brought about the effective date of this amendment in Section 50 to be 1st September 2020. Now, this was a bittersweet moment for the entire nation. While the industry heaved a sigh of relief that the amendment is finally notified, yet the effective date is given as 1st September 2020. Now, this left everybody in perplexion. Why isn't it retrospective? Why is it only prospective? The Finance Minister herself, in the press meet conducted after the council meeting, repeatedly emphasized that the nature of the amendment would be retrospective. The effective date of the amendment would be 1/7/2017.
This will be important. Interest for delay in payment of GST. Interest for the delay in the payment of GST to be charged on the net cash liability with effect from 1st July 2017. Shall I repeat it? Interest for delay in payment of GST to be charged on the net cash liability, net tax availability, and not on the gross tax availability. And that will be with effect from 1/7/2017. The law will be amended retrospectively.
Yes, but the notification number 63 in fine print very categorically said that the effective date would be 1st September 2020. Now, why did this happen? Didn't the council pressurize for a retrospective amendment, and so on and so forth were questions to be answered by the board. But the night of 25th August was quite an anxious one. The assessees were wondering whether the department would go back 3 years in time, asking them to cough up interest on delayed payment of taxes on the total liability instead of on the net tax liability. However, on 26th of August 2020, the Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs came up with a press release. Once again, the industry heaved a sigh of relief. This press release categorically said that the notification terms of 63 of 2020 could not be given a retrospective verbatim because of technical reasons. However, no action would be initiated for any delay in payment of taxes for the period from 1st July 2017 only. So the key takeaways from this understanding of the entire journey that the interest provision in GST has had so far is that effective from 1st July 2017, Section 50 has been amended. Interest for delayed payment would be applicable only on the net tax liability and not on the total GST liability. So much portion of your GST liability that has been paid through utilization of input tax credit would never be a subject matter of interest levy in case you are unable to file your return on time. Moreover, as you already know, that reverse charge liability is something that you always pay in cash even though you have a lot of credit. So since RCM liability is something that you have to, should, must, will, shall pay in cash, it will always come with an interest of 18% if there is any delay. There is no relief provided in this regard. Another very important key takeaway is that the amendment in Section 50 categorically says that this relief of net tax payment interest is not applicable in cases where any demand and recovery proceedings have been initiated in Section 73 or 74. So, if you are paying any taxes pursuant to any show cause notice, litigation, audit or adjudication for that matter, and the provisions of Section 73 or 74 have already been invoked by the Revenue Department, and consequent to that you are paying this GST, and you're also having to pay interest at 18% or 24% as the case may be. In such cases, you cannot claim relief under Section 50. So the interest in such cases have to be paid on the entire tax liability and not only on that portion of net tax payment. So I hope we were able to give you the glimpse of the tumultuous journey that interest provision in GST has had so far. If you have liked this video, we urge you to like and share the same, and subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to stay updated on GST. Thank you.